Moving on now, and it's something every woman will go through in their lifetime, and still menopause remains one of the most complex and also one of the most taboo health topics to navigate.
Yeah, so to mark World Menopause Day, we are looking at the latest treatments and lifestyle tips to support healthy ageing. And for more, I'm happy to say we're joined by reproductive endocrinologist Dr. Davini Amratunga and nutritionist and exercise scientist Amelia Phillips in studio. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
All right, Dr. Dev, let's start with you. Some of the barriers that women face when it comes to menopause.
Oh, look, there's so many barriers, aren't there? But probably some of the common ones are that many of the symptoms are dismissed as normal ageing, and they're not really. There are specific symptoms in menopause that can be treated and can be addressed. And the other one is that people will go and get checked for a lot of things that are actually menopausal symptoms, but they might get a bit of a runaround. So they might have joint pain, they might go see, someone about that, they might have mood changes, and all of these can actually be menopause. And I think in 2025, the medical misinformation and social media also plays into it. How do you know what's right and wrong and who's right and who's not right, know? So I think those are the main barriers at the moment.
I can feel the women of Australia nodding their head watching this. I'm so glad we are covering this morning. Dr. Dev, I wanted to ask you, we seem to be learning more about the health risks for women post-menopause as well. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so up until menopause, women and men have similar risk factors, but as soon as menopause hits, really, risk factors for cardiovascular disease, heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, all of those really starts to skyrocket. Really? So it's quite important to have preventative as well as proactive management. And of course, there's the bone and osteoporosis as well. So a really high jump in loss of bone density as soon as you hit menopause. So they're really important things to consider.
Yeah, all right. Amelia, let's bring you in here. As Dr. Dev just said, there are a number of things that women can do. Exercise, yes. Let's talk about that.
Oh my gosh, exercise is like your secret weapon when you want to manage perimenopause, menopause symptoms effectively and come out the other side feeling fantastic. There's so many benefits when it comes to exercise in this stage of life. And, particularly around stabilising our hormones. As our estrogen levels start to decline, exercise actually improves our sensitivity to our estrogen receptors in our body. So it gives us more bang for buck when it comes to estrogen. Same with insulin. So we have a lot of women suffering with, stubborn weight and weight around the middle. And what we find is that exercise improves our insulin sensitivity. It makes us a much more efficient fat burner. Dr. Dev has just spoken about the importance of bone health, and so particularly strength training for us ladies going through peri and post-menopause. It is our secret weapon. If you don't have a good relationship with exercise, if it's a bit, today is the wake-up call and is the reminder that we've got to find joy and find an exercise pattern that suits us.
All right, so diet and exercise are the big ones. Dr. Dev, I wanted to ask you about treatments, because there's plenty of current and emerging treatments. What is available right now, and how do you know what's right for you?
Yeah, I think it's important to individualise treatments. That's one of the biggest things. Not everyone's the same. And we have got more funding into menopause, so we have good data now coming up. And I think it's good to look at it, the non-hormonal and the hormonal treatments. Lifestyle, like Amelia said, is paramount to everyone, so everyone needs diet, exercise. But then the non-hormonal treatments, you'd be surprised. There's good evidence for things like CBT, for, clinical hypnosis and things like that. And then there's the hormonal treatments like hormone replacement. One of the big things that are coming out is the neurokinin B inhibitors, and that's really cool because that's a really effective treatment for vasomotor symptoms like hot flushes, mood symptoms, and it's non-hormonal, so it can actually be beneficial for those where hormones are a risk.
Amelia, you said exercise is like the kryptonite.
Yeah.
What about complementing that as well? It's really important to eat well, sleep well, all of the above, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the irony that when we need the best and most restorative sleep possible during this period is when our sleep gets disrupted with insomnia, restlessness and, night sweats, as you mentioned. But I've got a couple of tips around sleep, really simple ones, just to help us. So really if you can control the temperature in your bedroom, a really cool bedroom is important, that 18 to 20 degrees. And also the material that you use, the bedding, the pyjamas that you use, avoiding those more synthetic fabrics that tend to really create and amplify the heat, and focusing more on those natural fabrics like bamboo, linen, etc. will make a really big difference. And magnesium glycinate is a beautiful calming supplement in the second half of the day. Anyone can reach out to me if they're confused about, what supplements to take, because it is really confusing out there. And then nutrition. I mean, if we had a whole hour, I would love to talk to you about nutrition. But I've got a few really simple, practical tips that you can take away. One of them is starting your day with a savoury breakfast. So blood sugar control is a really important issue through this period. And so a lot of well-meaning women will start their day with organic granola with lots of, fruit. But what they're doing is they're spiking their blood sugar levels. So flipping the switch and having avocado on, sourdough toast, eggs, for example, will just help keep your blood sugar levels nice and stable. I had some other ones up there as well around
cruciferous
veggies is great. It contains a compound called DIM. So yeah, don't get me started on nutrition. I'll be here all day, guys, as you can tell.
Well, we would love to have you all day, but unfortunately we've run out of time. But thank you for joining us
Great
this morning.
tips. Thank you
Great
both.
topic, and
No worries.
thanks for being with us in studio.
Yeah, thank you.